Hey, how's it going? You'll see it's kind of dark in here, which is quite appropriate for this video. What I'll be talking about, I'll be talking about darkness, and yeah, I'm going to get a lot into that. Just want to give you an example here of what I eat on the regular. Right here we got. Hope you saw that. Right there, actually, maybe I could just like flip this camera while it's still videotaping. No, I can't. Okay. So yeah, just that meal there is one of my awesome salads. I like to use avocado as a dressing because for one, it fills you up, and two, it's creamy and delicious. Then I throw this nice Calcutta curry spice in there. Throw mad sprouts. Sprouts are awesome. Broccoli sprouts, alfalfa sprouts. Doesn't really matter what kind of sprouts. Just get those sprouts in there. Some greens, tomatoes, spinach. Well, those are greens. Yeah, it's good. It gives you a lot of great minerals and vitamins and antioxidants, chlorophyll. Bunch of good stuff, bunch of stuff that oxidizes the blood, gets everything moving, and just makes you feel real good. Okay, so this video today, I'm talking about darkness. Ooh, darkness. Scary stuff. That's what they want you to think. That's what we've been led to believe. Are you afraid of the dark? Remember that kid's show? Kind of liked it. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. Darkness, though. Darkness. Even when we talk about spirituality, people talk about light workers being in the light. Oh, it's great being in the light. That's where you want to be. You know, you want to be shining from that place. But sometimes people get in the light, and they be in the light, and then they don't want to shine their light into the dark. They don't want to go into the dark anymore. They're either fearful of the dark or they're ignorant of the dark. When in reality, the dark is what gives us all of our insight. The dark is what basically allows us to become enlightened. Because the darkness is what we are unconscious of. And when we shine our light, our observing light, into the dark crevices, the unconscious aspects of ourselves, we discover new things about ourselves. We can access knowledge by going into the dark. Now, especially when we go into the dark at first, and when we don't have a full perception of ourselves as the light that we are, we can sometimes get stuck there. We can sometimes be in the dark longer than we would like. I know I've been in some dark stages for even long periods of time. Now I can enter those dark stages and bring that light with me. Understand that I am the beacon. I am the beacon of light shining into the dark crevices of who I am, the aspects of that I'm not yet familiar with in myself. And I shine that light even though it's dark, even though I don't necessarily know what's there. But it's part of me. It's a part of me. And quite possibly, if I don't look at it, it could end up being some habit that I continually do. And if you don't shine your light on that dark spot long enough, you won't understand why it is that you do that habit. Or could be an addiction too. Because any habit, in reality, that's when habits are formed, they're only really considered an addiction when it's a bad thing. But, in reality, we're addicted to a lot of things, whether we like it or not. Processed sugar is one of the big ones that most people don't realize they're addicted to. But once you try to get that out of your diet, you'll see it's not easy to get away from processed sugar, or at least that's how it feels, because we crave it, and there is literally bacteria in our body that feeds off it, parasites in our body that feed off of it. And so, yeah, it's difficult to get off of it, but getting off of sugar is one big thing, because sugar keeps us hyped up. Sugar keeps us moving, and when we're moving, it's good. It's nice to be moving, but sometimes we really want to slow things completely down so that we can observe where we are at, so that we can slow things down so much that we can take the time to ask very important questions in our lives, like, should I or do I really want to be doing this certain thing in my life anymore? Do I want to be doing this job? Do I want to be putting all my attention here? Do I want to be in this relationship? Take the time to say and ask maybe what my life purpose is, or what would make me feel joy every day by waking up and doing. Obviously, there's many more things too, but to get to a point where we ask all those questions and we stay patient enough to wait for the answers and to stay in those spaces without going into too much more action, which is just going to create more cause and effect, we need to slow things down, and sugar is one thing that's keeping us from doing that, as well as everything. There's caffeine, there's so many things that are stimulating us. And then we'll go over to depressants to try to slow us down, but then we just get in a cycle of depressants and stimulants, and it's not a good cycle. I've been in that cycle as well, especially getting off of stimulants and then getting off of anything that I use to depress myself. Because in reality, you'd be surprised, we actually do and take certain substances to depress ourselves purposely, because things are moving too fast and we're like, oh no, I can't handle it, I can't handle it, please, let's slow it down. Maybe this cigarette, or maybe this big bed of pasta or something will just slow things down. But it will slow things down, but you're going to be feeling groggy, you're feeling shitty, or you're probably going to judge yourself for doing those things, and you're not going to be in a space that's any more clear to really take the time to understand where you're at and ask the questions that are most vital to you. So I'll get back again to the main point of this video, and we're talking about darkness. Darkness is where it's at. Seriously, darkness is where you find the answers, and just as the word says, it's dark. You can't see very far ahead of you. So you want to have faith that so long as you are centered in some sort of knowing of yourself, and that can be really discovered through meditation. It can also just be discovered by seeing how you truly are when there's no thoughts, or seeing how you truly are towards your children, like seeing the love that you give your children, or the love that you give your mother or your father, or the love that you give the one that you're dating, or the love that you give your closest friends, realizing that that love that you give is who you are, and that is your love. That's also love that you can give to yourself. So the same patience that you show for the ones you love the most, you can give to yourself. You have that. You gave it to them. It's in you. You can do that. So what we want to do is start shining our light on aspects of our life that we fear, that we are afraid to go into, because we are going to learn exactly what we need to know to move forward. But if we're unwilling to go into those areas, we're not going to move forward. Or if we do, it's going to basically be at a snail's pace. Or sometimes we're going to feel like we're moving backwards, even though that's kind of impossible, because no matter what direction you go into, you're going to gain some insight, even if it's in a position where maybe you make your body more of a toxic place. That's kind of what happened to me. My body got into quite a toxic place after many years of partying and doing making some poor choices towards my body, but not even knowing that they were the wrong choices completely. Some of the things I did know, some of the other things I didn't know. So, knowledge is power, and it's great to know what the best things to do for yourself is. And even if you have a hard time doing those things at first, at least you know. At least you have that knowledge, and you can't keep playing that victim card, being like, oh, I didn't know. Well, no, you do know, and it's okay. Don't judge yourself when you do something that against what you know, because it's not just knowing, it's also understanding. It's also understanding why you're doing these negative patterns towards yourself. That's that's a big part about it, and that's really going into your emotions, and looking at your thought patterns and things like that to really understand. So I don't want to make this video too much longer. I will go into more about darkness because it's very key, and it's something that if you're into spirituality, you'll see that some spiritual teachings even kind of stay away from it, when in reality this is actually what can bring more light into our lives, because the more that we shine into those dark places, the more light that is created within ourselves, and the less that we fear and the less that we're scared of. And it's nice to live your life that way, to not be scared of many things, or when that fear comes up, to understand that it's not real. It's an illusion, and you can let it go and keep walking into the fire. And you know, before long, you're going to come out the other side. And sometimes even walking into that fire, you go in fearlessly, you'll walk out of that same side that day. You might walk out of it even a half an hour later. So don't judge, or don't think, oh, this is going to take this long or that long. Have no expectations. Just go in there with an intention, an intention that I want to know. I want to know more about myself. I want to know what's holding me back. And once I do know that, I am going to trust that knowing and use it as my guide. Alright, much love. Peace.